It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 9 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Beta versus Daryl showdown, or the fight between the two, and we're going to look at whether it was disappointing or not. So obviously there's a split in fans. There's a half of fans, or just about, that believe this fight was the greatest fight ever. And then there's another half, or another chunk, that think that this fight was underwhelming and disappointing. Now I'm personally in the second group. I think this fight was underwhelming and disappointing. Now, I could be biased about this, or fans in general who think that could be biased, because this fight or this showdown was actually overhyped. So we thought that we were going to get something amazing, and what we got was just something that was okay. I mean, if they didn't advertise this showdown as much as they did, and if they didn't overhype it as much as they did, and then I saw this episode and the showdown between them, I would have enjoyed it a whole of a lot more than I did. So that's one part of it. The other part of it is that the whole fight seemed a little too choreographed. I don't know if that's even a thing, but it seemed like there was a lot of thing that went in it, and it seemed like it was just too perfect. It didn't seem as raw and as real as I wanted this fight to be. You know what I mean? And this actually goes against what they said on Talking Dead when they were talking about this fight, because the coordinators and the director said that they wanted to make this look as raw as possible, as real as possible, and that they think they did that. But I disagree. I don't think that it was as raw as they thought they made it out to be. I think it was just a little too choreographed. It was, as a fight scene, a good fight scene, but it was just a little too choreographed. It seemed like something you would see in a Jason Statham movie or a Liam Neeson type of movie, you know what I mean? It didn't feel like a Walking Dead thing. It didn't feel as grounded in reality as we want for a show that's all about realism, putting aside the fact that they're walkers or zombies. But I just felt like it was too choreographed in a way. The other aspect of it is that there were no real injuries. I mean, we were speculating who's gonna get injured. You know, is Daryl gonna break a hand? Is he gonna break a foot? Is he gonna dislocate his shoulder? Is this gonna happen? Is that gonna happen? Is he gonna get a huge gash on his face? And then nothing. We didn't see any of that. I think two men like these people, as intense as they were, as hungry for causing damage to the other as they were, you would think that there would be some sort of injury, that it would lead to some sort of major injury or physical pain. To think of it, you could say Beta was injured just a little bit when he fell down the elevator shaft. But Daryl wasn't even injured a little bit. He didn't even get a small cut. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? I love Daryl Dixon, but come on. Make it realistic. Even Daryl Dixon can get injured pretty bad. I mean, shit on season 7 and 8 as much as you want. But one thing that they added in there that it seems like they're not doing that often is they injured Daryl for once. But it seems like we didn't see anything of that nature. And it seems like Daryl came in and left like a boss, which doesn't really happen. Look how big Beta is. It just doesn't make sense. It wasn't realistic in a way. But it seems like they didn't want to make Daryl look weak. So they just had him push Beta off of an elevator shaft and come out like nothing happened. That's what really did it for me, where I was like, not cool, you know? If he was injured in some sense, then I would have enjoyed this a little bit more, even though I would have thought the same thing regarding it being overhyped and being too choreographed. Now, the other thing that comes into play is, why didn't Daryl throw something down the elevator shaft on top of Beta? Why didn't he do that? It's the most realistic thing to do. It's the most logical thing to do. Why didn't he? Obviously, he didn't, because if he did, that would mean the end of Beta. But that's when you need to write something so that you don't have loopholes like that. That being said, let me step back a little bit. Let me talk about the positives as well. Overall, this fight was intense at times. When we saw Beta push Daryl's face towards that electric saw, I loved that, because It's intense. I mean, we know why Beta wouldn't just want to kill Daryl, obviously because he wants to know where Lydia is. So that makes it more realistic, but it just felt intense, and that added to the intensity, and I loved that. And I loved the ending with Beta, who's been thrown down, actually getting up, with us seeing a little bit of blood there. That was also great. And also him looking up and looking menacing and intimidating. I thought that was a strong cliffhanger and a strong way to end the episode. Great ending sequence to that underwhelming fight scene. But the last thing I do want to say is, other than me being a little bit biased towards this because I feel like it was overhyped, I'm also biased towards this because the ending was sort of spoiled for me. I had a live discussion video right before the episode, and someone came into the chat and said that they have a theory. Obviously, it was a spoiler, not a theory, but they had a theory that Daryl would push this guy down an elevator shaft. And me, being stupid and naive, I'm like, that's actually a great theory. That's a great way to think of it. That makes sense if they do something like that. But little did I know, he just spoiled the episode for me, basically. But that's basically everything I wanted to share with you guys. I mean, I didn't hate the fight scene. That's not what it is at all. I liked it. It was just underwhelming. I mean, if you did it a little bit differently and incorporated some of the things I just discussed, I would have enjoyed the fight scene a hell of a lot more than I did. But that's basically everything I wanted to share with you guys. Make sure to click the like button if you enjoyed the content. I'll see you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.